To many of us, our pets are as important to us as members of our family. They are family, and we love them unconditionally. But for some people, especially those who try to domesticate wild animals, their beloved pets turn on them, often with tragic consequences. We're keeping this video relatively short, as we're working incredibly hard in the build-up to the Creepy Marathon month. But we didn't want to go a week without uploading. So here we'll be looking at 5 devoted pet owners who saw a side of their pets that they never thought possible. And for 4 of them ended up in their early demise. Now before we begin, we'd just like to say a huge thank you to this video's sponsor, Surfshark VPN. If you're familiar with our videos, you've heard us talk about Surfshark VPN. They're awesome, and one of its greatest keys is its ability to unlock access to servers from anywhere on Earth, whether it be the United States, the United Kingdom, or even East Asia. You can surf the web in any country in any time zone using Surfshark VPN. This means your favourite television shows and digital programming that's only available in certain territories are now available on your own streaming service accounts like Netflix or Amazon Prime. Just switch servers on the VPN to a country of your choice, and entirely new libraries will be at your viewing disposal on an unlimited number of devices too, never leaving you short on options. We use it all the time, not only to view things outside of our country. Mrs. Top 5s loves all the Korean dramas, but also because of the additional level of security it gives us. If protecting your data and information is a priority, Surfshark VPN uses industry-leading encryption to secure your data, keeps your browsing history confidential, and automatically blocks over 1 million known virus hosting websites and other phishing threats. For a limited time, use our code TOP5s upon checkout to unlock an insane 83% discount, along with 3 months free and a 30-day money-back guarantee. It's by far the best price on the VPN market. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to Surfshark VPN to take advantage of the massive discount on the awesome service. Pet python Strangles owner. On August 25th, 2017, the parents of 31-year-old Dan Brandon made a horrifying discovery. They were cooking dinner at the family home in Hampshire when they heard a loud bang coming from upstairs. They thought their son had fallen or maybe dropped something, and when he failed to come down for dinner, his mum went up to check he was okay. She found her son face down on the floor. She also noticed his beloved pet snake Tiny was out of her enclosure. Emergency services were called, but Dan was declared dead. For over 16 years, Dan Brandon had kept reptiles, and at the time of his death, he had 10 snakes and 12 spiders that he kept in a room at the family home. One of those snakes was an 8-foot African rock python named Tiny that he had had since a hatchling. His family revealed that she was his baby, and he loved the snake, and the snake loved him. However, they also revealed that as the snake had gotten bigger, it had become more unpredictable, and was extremely strong and quite temperamental if she didn't want to be picked up. Despite this, they claimed Dan never felt threatened by her, and she was his pride and joy. He regularly posted images of himself with Tiny and his other reptiles on social media. Yet on this occasion, it seems the snake either turned on Dan, or coiled around him in a show of affection and suffocated him. Because despite the fact these snakes are non-venomous, they have a devastating power to squeeze. At the inquest into his death, it was confirmed that the most likely cause of death was that Tiny was engaged with Dan in some way. Possibly due to him tripping or her becoming frightened, she coiled herself tightly around him and asphyxiated him. Interestingly, there were no bite marks on Dan's body, and after Tiny shed its skin a few months later, examination of it showed there were no scratches on the surface to indicate Dan had wrestled with the snake, or made any attempt to escape. Remarkably, Dan's mum decided to keep the snake that killed her son, and now looks after her and Dan's other collection of reptiles, as she believes that Tiny loved her son and had accidentally killed him in a show of affection. However, experts disagree with this, saying there is no such thing as a pet snake. They are wild reptiles and very unpredictable, and are not capable of affection, so they say. And if they feel unsafe, they will coil around, tighten up, and suffocate you. And if you're alone, there's nothing you can do about it. What's your thoughts? Do you think snakes should be kept as pets? Let us know in the comments. Farmer bitten to death by pet hippo. A hippo is not your typical pet, and for a good reason. They have giant canine teeth and are said to kill more humans each year than lions, elephants, leopards, buffalo, and rhinos combined. They are also lightning quick, despite weighing up to 3 tons. So when in early 2011, South African farmer Marius Els released a video showing his extraordinary relationship with his pet hippo Humphrey, it went viral. He had raised Humphrey from the age of 5 months, and he described him as being like a son to him. The footage shows Els feeding the hippo apples and riding on its back in the specially constructed lake he built for him. At the time, he said, "There's a relationship between Humphrey and me, and that's what some people don't understand. They think you can only have a relationship with dogs, cats, and domestic animals. But I have a relationship with the most dangerous animal in Africa." However, shortly after this clip aired, there were signs that Humphrey was not the friendly, lovable pet Els portrayed, and he showed his dangerous side when he tried to attack 2 canoeists as they made their way down the Vaal River. The terrified canoeists yelled and clapped in an attempt to drive the animal away, but Humphrey refused to move, and eventually Els managed to entice the hippo away with an apple. But sadly, this seems to have been a turning point for Humphrey, because just over 6 months later, in early November, paramedics were called to Marius Els' 400-acre farm, where they recovered a mutilated body that was submerged in the river. The man was pronounced dead at the scene. He had been violently attacked and bitten, and it was unclear how long he had been submerged in the river. The man was identified as Marius Els, and his attacker was his beloved hippo Humphrey. We can only imagine what happened on the day of his death. Two dogs attack their owner. It's no surprise that a dog is the most popular pet worldwide, with over 30% of the entire population owning one, and most are considered as a member of the family, with over half of them sleeping in the same bed as their owners. So when our beloved pets turn on us and actually kill us, it is so shocking that most dog owners struggle to believe such a thing could happen, and this was the case with our next pet attack. In December 2017, 22-year-old Bethany Lynn Stephan's father became concerned when his daughter didn't return from a walk with her 2 dogs, Tonka and Pac-Man. So he went to look for her in the wooded area in rural Virginia, where she usually took them. There he found the dogs standing near what he thought was an animal carcass, but soon realized it was a human. When the authorities arrived, they were confronted with the most horrific sight. The 2 dogs were eating the body of their owner. It was concluded that at some point during the walk, Bethany had either fallen over or been pushed over, and the dogs mauled her to death. The bite marks on her body and skull were consistent with canine teeth, and some were inflicted while she was still alive. The news of the tragedy shocked and angered those who knew Bethany and her relationship with her dogs, whom she had had since they were puppies. They thought it incomprehensible that they would turn on the most important human to them. However, it was confirmed that it was the only explanation for her death, after ruling out other possibilities, such as domestic violence, sexual assault, or the involvement of larger animals such as bears. It was revealed that Tonka and Pac-Man were pit bull type dogs, although probably not purebred, but had typically square, blocky heads and a muscular build, with large powerful jaws, and were more than capable of overpowering someone and inflicting severe injuries, however unlikely. Although it's unclear why the dogs turned on their owner, it's thought likely that changes to their lifestyle, as they had recently moved, or possibly something scared them, may have been the reason for their uncharacteristic behaviour, although to this day no one really knows. Killed by wolf dogs she loved. Sandra Pioveson was devoted to her 9 wolf dogs and raised them as pets from when they were puppies. She was once quoted as saying, "They give her unqualified love." But in 2006, the pets she adored turned on her, and the 50-year-old's mauled remains were found inside their enclosure in the backyard of her home in Salem Township. She was found by her ex-partner after their daughter became concerned when she failed to show up for a meeting. After the tragic incident, all the wolf dogs were humanely destroyed. And after autopsies were carried out, it was revealed that they were all around 7 years old, weighing around 100 pounds, and none of them had been neutered or spayed, and had produced several litters of pups. Although the whereabouts of the pups was unknown, which caused a major concern to authorities, because if the parents attacked humans, there was a possibility the offspring would as well. It was also revealed that Sandra fed the animals on roadkill and meat scraps, and was often seen by neighbours playing with her pets, and even took at least one of them into the house. But experts pointed out the dangers of breeding wolves with dogs, explaining that a wolf will instinctively avoid people out of fear, but crossing with a dog, eliminating the fear factor, makes them extremely dangerous as a pet. An autopsy on Sandra revealed she bled to death after being mauled by her pets, although curiously the dogs abruptly stopped their attack. Maybe they realised what they were doing to the woman that loved them, but sadly it was too late, and Sandra died within minutes of the initial attack. Now this next story shows why it's not always a great idea to keep an exotic creature as a pet. No one is actually killed by this animal, but looking at the footage, it's only a matter of time. In 2013, a film crew visited a family in Czech Republic to make a documentary about the lion they lived with in their suburban detached house. The family had raised the lion from a cub, but as you will see, the lion is now fully grown and appears to have free access to the moderately sized house. Apparently the lion is house trained and plays happily with the family members. Take a look at what happens. As the video shows, the animal is still wild at heart and extremely dangerous when it turns on a member of the production crew and starts attacking him, while the owner desperately tries to free him. Luckily the man escaped, scratched but relatively unscathed, but it does show the dangers of keeping a 100-kilogram lioness as a pet. Now here at Top 5s, we all love animals immensely, and while we do not discourage from owning any pet, bringing wild animals into our unnatural environments and lifestyles, despite what we think, is not always best for them. Humans who own exotic pets generally are doing it for their own reasons, not for the welfare of the animals. This isn't always the case, but often is. We hope you've enjoyed this video, and we'd love to see what you think about owning exotic pets in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and as always, we'll see you in the next video.